Okay, we've got some major breaking news in the world of AI today. A brand new model has just dropped, and honestly, it is already making huge waves. So we're here with a special news brief on GPT 5.4. Let's just dive right in.
Right out of the gate, the early reports are pretty stunning. We're already seeing quotes like this one from the CEO of Mercor, saying GPT 5.4 is the best they've ever tried. And look at what he says it excels at: slide decks, financial models, even legal analysis. This is not just some small update, This is a huge signal that the very nature of professional work might be about to shift in a big way.
So here's the headline. The new model is called GPT 5.4, and its entire reason for being is the professional world. It's been built from the ground up to handle the kind of complex, messy, real-world tasks that, well, a lot of us do for a living. So first up, let's talk about how this new AI really stacks up as a professional partner, because, the whole conversation is starting to change. We're moving away from seeing AI as just another tool, and we're starting to see it as a potential colleague.
Now, I want you to just look at this number, 83%. On its own, it doesn't really tell you much, right? But believe me, this single stat might just be the most important part of this whole story.
So what is it? Well, across 44, that's 4 different professions, so think sales, accounting, manufacturing, you name it, GPT 5.4 either matched or exceeded the performance of human professionals 83% of the time. Just let that sink in for a second. This isn't some test in a lab. This is a direct comparison on the kind of work that people get paid to do every single day. And this chart really puts that number into perspective. I mean, look at this. The old model, GPT 5.2, was already pretty good, scoring just under 71%. But this jump, all the way up to 83%, that is a massive leap forward in just one generation of this tech.
So where are we really seeing these improvements? Well, in spreadsheet modeling, it's hitting almost 90% on tasks meant for junior analysts. For presentation design, actual humans preferred what it created 2/3 of the time. And maybe the most important thing for professional use, it's 33% less likely to just make stuff up. That is a huge step for actually being able to trust these things.
But how well it does tasks is really only half the story. The other massive update is about what this AI can actually do. And this is where we see that big shift from an assistant that just talks to you to an agent that actually takes action.
They're calling this computer use capabilities. And what that means in simple terms is that the AI can literally look at your computer screen, understand what it's seeing, buttons, text boxes, menus, and then use the mouse and keyboard just like a person to get things done.
So think about it this way. You could ask it, hey, email Sarah to schedule a meeting for next week. And it would look at your screen, find the Compose button in your email, click it, type out the email, and then it would actually switch over to your calendar app and create the event. It's a whole workflow from start to finish, and it does it all by itself. And that brings us to our next big number, 75%. And look, if you thought that last one was wild, this one might be even bigger.
Okay, so that's 75%. That's GPT 5.4's success rate on a test for completing tasks on a computer. But here's the kicker, the real headline. The average human scores 72.4% on that same test. So this means the AI isn't just learning how to use a computer. In this specific test, it's already better at it than the average person.
So we have an AI that's a better knowledge worker and can use a computer. The next obvious question is, what does this all mean for the people who actually build things with AI? For developers, this is a major power-up. We're talking faster, more efficient, and frankly, more capable workflows.
And a huge part of this is a new feature called tool search. Imagine you're a plumber. The old way was like having to carry every single wrench you own in a giant, heavy bag everywhere you go. This new way, tool search, is like having a magic tool belt, where the exact right wrench just appears in your hand the second you need it.
Let's break that down. Before, developers had to cram every single possible tool into the AI short-term memory. It's called a context. And that was super slow. It was expensive, and it just cluttered everything up. Now the AI can just search for the specific tool it needs right when it needs it. It's just a much smarter, more efficient way of doing things.
And the numbers here, they really tell the story. In one test, Tool Search cut the resources it needed to use, these things called tokens, by nearly half. And since developers pay for every token, that means it's suddenly way cheaper and faster to run complex AI apps.
And developers are really noticing how it feels to work with it.
Lee Robinson over at Cursor says it feels more assertive, that it works through fuzzy problems without hesitating. It even tries to do things at the same time to speed everything up. I mean, that's the kind of partner you want when you're coding something complex.
Okay, so let's get to the bottom line here. We've seen what it can do, which is amazing, but what you probably want to know is, how do I get it and what's it going to cost?
All right, here's the deal on availability. For regular users, it's rolling out right now to anyone with a paid ChatGPT plan. So that's Plus, Team, and Pro. For developers who want to build stuff with it, it's already live in the API. And for big companies that need the absolute best performance, there's a separate Pro version available.
And now for the pricing, at least for the API. So developers get billed based on tokens, which are kind of like little pieces of words. The standard GPT 5.4 model is $2.50 for 1 million input tokens. That's the info you send it. And $15 for 1 million output tokens. That's what it sends back. And as you can see, yeah, that Pro model comes at a much higher price, but it's really designed for those super demanding professional jobs.
And that brings us to our final slide, and really a question I want to leave you with. We've just looked at a piece of technology that is demonstrably better than human professionals at a whole bunch of tasks, and it can use a computer better than the average person. So the question we have to ask ourselves isn't what can AI do anymore. It's when an AI can do your work and operate your computer, what work is left for you?